The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a wonderful Wednesday edition of Talkin Cowboys, presented by Tostitos, the official chip and the official dip of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome into the Star in Frisco. Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Yeomans, where the trade deadline is in the rear view mirror, and the Dallas Cowboys were not buyers, or at least not even sellers. It came and gone.
Anyway.
And that was about it. That's the trade deadline for you.
Isaiah, were you just standing by the clock?
No, I was working a
Yeah,
show.
you were working.
Yeah, I'm off. I know, Kyle, you're going to curse me out.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I had a 2-hour show doing the trade deadline, and I was waiting. And you know what they said to me?
What'd they say?
They said I was being biased to the Cowboys. Can you believe that?
Oh, my goodness.
They must don't know you. They have no idea who you are. They don't know.
Tell them to come watch a game with you in the studio.
That sounds like slander, if you ask me.
Yeah. Sounds like slander. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm on an unbiased. I'm an insider, right, for Locked On podcast, and I was reporting on all the teams, all the news, all the stuff, and they said I was being biased to the Cowboys because I kept throwing the Cowboys' name in the hat. When they brought up the MVP conversation, they were talking about. Why am I blanking out right now? They were talking about Green Bay, right, and Aaron Rodgers. They were talking about Allen. They were talking about Kyler Murray, and they left Dak out. And I was like, well, there's a guy in Dallas who you might want to throw in that hat. Just he missed one game, but let's not disrespect him. They're like, oh, okay. And then they start talking about the teams that could potentially go the distance. And I was like, well, there's a team in Dallas, and they were dismissing it. So every time I kept bringing up Dallas, they thought I was being biased and partial. And I was like, no. These guys are good. These guys are good.
They're 6-1.
These guys are good.
They just won a game with a backup quarterback who's thrown 3 passes in the NFL.
Again, I kept throwing the Dallas Cowboys in the pot simply because they deserve to be in the pot, not because I work for the Dallas Cowboys.
I love it. Keep that same energy. Stay over there. Stay over there. I don't want all of a sudden everybody's trying to temper what they had said before. Keep that same energy. Say what you said when you said what you said. Keep saying it.
People want the Cowboys to be good. It's kind of like the Yankees. If the Cowboys are good, the NFL's better. But then they don't want to be too good because then it's overhyped. Then it's
they put Josh Allen over Dak.
Of course they will. Of course they will.
They put the Bills over the Cowboys.
Of course they would.
It's a really good team.
I guess you could.
They're 5-2.
Still a really good team, though.
They're not the Cowboys.
They're not 6-1.
Look at you.
Tell you that much.
Insider.
You guys know I am not partial at all.
Keep it real.
I keep it real. I rep Seattle everything. Y'all see the Seattle weather today. Y'all see the Seattle weather. I got my beanie on. I'm straight. I put all my Seattle gear out. All right, Seattle gonna have a water polo team, and I'm gonna rep Seattle. That's just home, right?
Right.
You rep home, but I love my Cowboys, and they're representing.
There's a look outside at the Tostitos Championship Plaza. That is the live look, and yes, the sun is up. It is 9:04.
It's Tacoma.
PM.
AM.
Oh, it's AM. We're doing a night show.
It is a nasty.
Don't confuse him on AM.
Start at night.
Talking Cowboys at night. But no, I agree with you on that. That needs to be in that conversation.
Absolutely.
Maybe from a national standpoint, the fact that the Cowboys did actually win that game without Dak maybe discounts
a knock on them,
But I don't see that. No. If you actually know the Cowboys and you've seen the way Dak is playing, that is not the case. It would, however, bode for your second point of them being in the conversation to go the distance because they won that game without Dak Prescott.
Didn't they go 4 straight games with 35-plus points? And then
no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, and then they didn't have Dak, and they scored 20, and they won. But that's basically been their average the last 2 years when they haven't had Dak. I think having rain helps.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
rain, not rain outside, rain Dakota.
Rain Dakota.
No, you can't dismiss the truth. You can't. When you see a football team, a complete football team, and to all those people that doubt where the Cowboys are right now, they can't doubt the truth. I mean, you have a team right now that's a total team, and that was a total team win last week. And moving on to the Broncos, who obviously are going to give us some problems. If you want to think about no, hold on now. Let's be unbiased, right?
They're trash.
How about that? Oh, wait a minute. Whatever happened to respecting your opponent?
No. I respect.
Hold on,
I give
man.
respect where respect is due. These guys
are
trash. These guys are trash. I'm putting my vote in right now. We ain't got to wait till Friday.
You see, if I had jumped out the cake with the trash.
Bruh, did you watch the Cleveland game?
I watched the Cleveland. You know I'm watching the game.
How do you
watching
feel
the high
the
school
Broncos
game
are right now? If you had one word to describe the Broncos, what would you describe them as?
The dump truck juice.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Exactly.
Damn.
You still got to show up. You still got to show up. You still got to play.
I want to do it for the people. You say, well, keep it real. You know what you're going to do. Heckman, take all the emotion out of it, Heckman.
That's right.
You got to take all the emotion.
That's right. Team no emotions. Hashtag. Talk to my wife about it.
We are going to preview the Broncos offense and the Cowboys defense today on this show. But before we do that, we've got some news and notes. And let's start with a positive one.
Oh, okay.
There was an award handed out this week.
Yes, there was.
For the third time this year. A Cowboys defender is the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Rob Phillips has more.
Micah Parsons.
Sticks.
Micah Parsons. Please come to the front. First rookie in NFL history with 10 tackles and 4 for loss in a game. No takeaways. I thought no takeaways might get him from getting this award, but
no.
Best game of his young career, heck.
I got beef with you, P.
Ooh.
I got real beef with you.
What you got?
Why didn't you come on the show and tell us that Jerron Kearse was wearing the green dot?
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that at all.
Oh, I didn't even notice that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Who pointed that out on ESPN?
Ryan Clark.
Yeah, that was
Ryan Clark pointed that out, and I was like,
so
Rob,
you watched the game too.
I did,
you
but
probably had a better angle than I did.
I didn't see the green dot, P. Come on, man. We can't miss on that. Wait a minute. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
That's my bad. I wasn't here on Monday, so.
That's fair.
That's
a good pass.
Yeah, CBZ, you're on the sideline.
Private jet was delayed.
Yeah. One of those.
So what is that significant for? First off, explain the green dot for fans that might not know it out there. And secondly, why is that significant, the fact that Kearse is wearing it and not the same guy who's been wearing it throughout the earlier parts of the year?
You guys can explain it better than I can, but you're calling the defense. You're the quarterback. You're getting the signals and relaying it to the rest of the defense pre-snap. So presumably, if you take that off of his plate, Micah's plate, maybe that's lets him just kind of worry about his responsibilities and play. So it was a good catch. I wish we'd asked Dan Quinn about it on Monday because maybe that did have something to do with him
balling out.
Maybe it's showing up at 5:30 in the morning during the week and devoting more of his time to studying instead of kind of lounging, as he said. Which I don't think he's not a hard worker, but he said he had even more focus this past week.
How big is the green dot, Isaiah?
It's major. It's an indication as to the value that Kearse provides to this team. I know when we talked about him yesterday and him coming onto this roster, we thought it was just a kind of a insert, right? Just kind of like a spot filler or a placeholder. Somebody that if he plays well, great, but we're not expecting that. But he stepped into that leadership role. He stepped into that role where now he's playing 100% of the snaps. He's been close to that, pretty consistent this entire season. So it just lets you know the importance that he has, the impact that he has, not only at his position, but how the team views him. The team views him as a leader. He's performing as a leader, and now the coaches are handing him that responsibility to be able to be the one that's a quarterback on that side of the ball, right? He's the Dak on that side of the ball as of last week. He gets to play call in the ear up until a certain point in time. What was it, 15 seconds, 20 seconds? And then it cuts off, and he communicates all the information that he just received, the play call, to the defense, gets everybody lined up. We don't know how in-depth that goes, but he's at least relaying the play to everybody on that side of the ball. That's important. So every play, everybody looks to him and says, what's the play, Heck?
That part. Exactly what he just said. I mean, really, you exemplify everything that you just said exemplifies what the green dot is about, and it speaks volumes about him. And if anybody goes back to when we brought him on to the squad as a free agent, I don't think anyone thought that he would be what he is right now. Just says how the guys respect him and are responding to him in the locker room, and that's just leadership and trust. You talk about how many reps he played. I mean, he's not coming off the field, and that's 100%. So that just, like I said, that just says the leader that he is and the responsibility of Dan Quinn to give him that, how much he trusts him. And, somebody might be going to the Brinks truck.
There's a lot of guys trying to do that.
Yeah, right.
On this team.
There's a lot of those.
It happens.
By the way, through 7 games, Parsons tied for third on the team with 37 tackles, second on the team in sacks with 2.5, and then quarterback hits as well with 13. Before Parsons, he's the first Cowboys rookie to win the award since Leighton Vander Esch did in 2018. In that game he played against Atlanta, which was just a masterful performance as a rookie. So, hey, lots of excitement around Micah Parsons, but there was some other news coming out yesterday, including a couple guys that may not be on the team for the rest of the year.
Well, Jabril Cox is headed to IR for the rest of the season. He won't play the rest of the year. And then Bradley and I waived 2 days after the penalty on the punt that I think led to a Vikings field goal in a very tight game. I don't know if it was just that, but, if you're not making winning plays, you talk about culture, I think it had probably something to do with it. Part of it is he's not playing a lot.
Yeah.
Part of it is they've got at least a couple guys getting ready to come off of IR / PUP, and they got to create roster spots. But interesting timing.
What for those that don't have a thesaurus in front of them right now? What's another term for waived in the NFL?
Cut.
Fired.
You want to go?
Well, I just trying to make it a common term for people to understand and really connect with that. He was fired.
That's tough, man. I mean,
it's the middle of the season.
You also got to remember there is a chance he comes back.
Absolutely,
because if he clears waivers,
absolutely, there's a chance he comes back.
On the practice squad.
But as of right now, he has been relieved of his duties.
Yeah.
And all indications point to, yes, we knew that we've been talking about how roster spots are going to have to become available as guys like Gallup come back, Neville Gallimore starts getting healthy, D-Law, all these guys start getting ready to come back. Roster spots were going to have to come open. And when you make plays like that put your team potentially in a position to lose a ball game, doesn't necessarily help your case.
Makes it easier to make the decision.
Absolutely.
So he didn't,
he wasn't playing a lot to begin with.
Right.
I mean,
but you say it perfectly. We're still churning this roster, and I think at the beginning of the season, when Coach Mike McCarthy was addressing the team and talking about when he was at Green Bay and they had that Super Bowl winning season, how many players that it took to actually win the Lombardi. I think we're in that phase where you're seeing like guys coming back from IR and PUP, and they're guys that are going to be released. Bradley and I deserves a chance on another NFL roster. I think he was a young guy that had promise. You're just seeing right now how much depth the Cowboys have. Dorrance Armstrong is back, and look, he made an impact on the game versus the Vikings. And I think people are forgetting, although we're looking for Tank to come back, we're just getting guys back that are making an impact. Basham is starting to make an impact. So, look, there wasn't any more room for Bradley.
Do you see him coming back on practice squad?
I would think he's a draft pick last year. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
You think he clears waivers?
Yeah, if he clears. I don't know if he clears, but we say that every year. Yeah. We say, that guy's cut. There's no way.
Because there's a lot of teams that need a young.
I think he's a San Diego, or no, I said San Diego.
Wow.
It's like locked in. I played with Junior Seau, right? So, like, it's just like
no, you said it. Just come on.
But he lost. I played with Junior last year.
You did?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Great dude, man. Freaking amazing. But yeah, I think he's a Los Angeles Chargers type of defensive end.
Yeah.
I do.
He could be in that rotation.
I do.
So if he doesn't clear waivers,
right?
I think he's back here. I don't think they just let him
I agree.
How do you feel about all this?
I'm sad. I'm a little
That's
sad.
your dude.
He was my dude.
Saw your tweet yesterday.
Was or is?
Was. He's I've kind of come to the realization that he may just be another guy. I like him a lot still, and I think he's going to have a career.
I think so.
Say it
too.
with your chest, Kyle.
I think he's going to have a career.
I do.
I don't think he's going to be a starter.
You're legit hurt about that.
I'm a little hurt.
Listen to his voice.
What are you saying? Play the music, Chris.
The world's smallest violin.
Mr. Sad Face.
Are we not going to address the elephant that's in the room?
What is the elephant?
That was the elephant that was here a couple weeks ago.
That's savage, Chris.
When somebody that just got released, not from the Cowboys here recently, he got released here a couple weeks back.
Oh,
are we just
Jalen Smith?
Are we just not going to address that? Like that just
News
didn't
and
happen?
notes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jalen.
I mean, he went from being a cornerstone to
The corner store.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, heckler.
Why you didn't grab me? Lord?
Yes, Jalen Smith was released by the Green Bay Packers yesterday, right around the same time that the Bradley News 9 News came down. It was Jalen Smith also out in Green Bay, so he's back in the free agent market as well. There were a lot of people yesterday, Rob, asking you guys on the mailbag about bringing him back. Is that a legit thing, or is that just Cowboys fans looking for something?
I don't really see it personally. Nobody's told me that, but I just think they moved on, and they need a backup linebacker to play special teams, and that's one reason why he's not here. But I mean, salary is the biggest reason, and that injury guarantee and all that was in his clause. But like, they need somebody who can fill Jabril Cox's role. He doesn't play special teams, so I don't see how that fits. I hope he catches on somewhere. I really do. I mean, I think that sucks for him. You know, you go to Green Bay, you go and another one-loss team. It's a good opportunity on a good football team, and you last 2 weeks.
But with that, right? Understanding some of the ramifications or reasons why he left this organization, right? Because of his contract and how the stipulations that were built into that. Because of the contract, we pretty much paid him
to go
to Green
almost
Bay.
all of his contract, right? In terms of this year, right?
Yeah.
We pretty much paid him all his money. So now that he's a free agent, we can bring him back, and the new contract can be worked in such that it doesn't have that verbiage in there and doesn't have those stipulations, correct?
I think so, yeah.
So being that's why I posed that question yesterday to you guys before the show, was we could bring him back, take all that wording out the contract, fill a role that we just lost, but we do lose a special teams guy. Well, he's not going to be a special teams guy, but he does give you a linebacker that you know what you're going to get out of him, right? You know positionally what he can do for you, and he knows your system already. And guess what? You just lost Jabril Cox.
He would add depth. I mean, for sure. And that's a position where you guys get hurt all the time. So I see what you're saying. I personally don't see it, but I mean, I'm not sure of that.
Number 9 still available. He spent a lot of money on it, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Half a mil.
I'm saying, I hear you. I see you, Heckma. It makes sense. He wasn't disliked. Right?
No,
they love him around here.
No,
they didn't leave him in bad blood. It wasn't bad terms. It was contract, right? But now those stipulations would be gone.
That's what I love about you. When you set up your argument, because I remember you from last year, right?
Oui.
You good. You good, dog. I love this guy, man. Because that's good what you just did. Because,
what'd he do?
No, he was the guy that was saying we got to get X-Nay straight from the top. And then once he got cut, it was like, I've been saying this. Look, this guy can't.
He's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's looking at salary.
But now it financially makes. You've already paid him.
Yep.
You already paid him, so now you're going to get him for.
Let's keep it real.
The remaining $400,000 that you have to pay for the rest of this year, and he goes right back to what you expect him to be before. But guess what? Now you don't have to worry about him getting hurt, and if he does get hurt, you don't have to pay him the money for next year. All those things are gone, and you just lost your other linebacker that gives you depth. The guy that you were expecting to be your depth player. One of the reasons why you were able to get rid of him is because you had a Jabril Cox, but now you don't.
Yeah. Well, and then you still have a Francis Bernard that's coming back.
Yep.
You still have Luke Gifford. I just think he was compromised. And Green Bay saw the same thing that we had been dealing with. And I don't know if they bring him back. If they do that, I mean, that would be a special case. Yeah. And maybe it'd be completely business to rework that. But they paid him $7 million to go. So, and then Green Bay wouldn't even give him $990, which is the league minimum. You know, that's tough.
Yeah, and it's not at this point, like I said, injuries happen, but it's not like they're replacing Jabril Cox's defensive
duties.
Snaps. He played 9 snaps in 7 games. So,
yeah,
what do you think?
If he's not going to be on special teams,
he's not.
And honestly, I don't really want him on special teams. So then, that
So you guys would not want to fill that spot.
That's not to say he can't do it. I mean, could he do it if he's never done it before? Is that possible? I mean, how difficult is that to take on that?
He has to be willing.
He's got to be able to run
willing
too, right?
He has to be willing. I don't think he has any physical attributes that are preventing him from being a contributor on special teams. It's a mentality. Are you willing to play special teams? When he was here before, I don't think he was willing. When he went to Green Bay, I don't think he was willing. Now that he's had life happen to him, I think he might be a little bit more open to playing some positions and creating that value again. Because guess what? He's not going to get paid again unless he shows he can play.
And I think he's shown you that he can't.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
And that's, and I think that's what makes the decision so much easier. And I wouldn't see the Cowboys trying to remanufacture. It's just not there. And we did the thing right now. We were talking about giving the green dot to Curse and where Micah is. I mean, Micah is 11 tackles, 4 for a loss. You're not going to stymie that. And if last year, if you're Jalen Smith looking at the draft, and once we drafted Micah, he probably said in his head, "OS, this guy's going to come in and probably take my job." I mean, that's the way that it is, and this is a tough business. He's just dealing with the ramifications of it. He has his money. I wish him well. I've always been a Jalen Smith supporter, but in this situation, dealing with this defense and the linebackers that we have, no way.
I'm just thinking of him running downfield on an assignment on special teams and just being in the open field, and it's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
No, he'd be hold up.
Yeah,
he would be a hold up guy.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it just financially now. You would get him for cheaper than you're paying for Noah Brown. You know what I mean? Like you would get him cheaper. He would be the cheapest guy on your roster.
Technically. You already are paying him $7 million, but
he's going to get that regardless. You might as well get some out of him.
All right, when we come back here on Talking Cowboys, what does Teddy Bridgewater, Jerry Jeudy, and the Broncos offense bring to challenge that Cowboys defense? When we return with more right after this.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
It's a great people, great pay replay here on Talking Cowboys, and you've already heard it. If you listen to this show, Jason Witten, big number 82, has already joined the Caliber Collision team. Oh, my gosh, there's numbers on the back of those cards. Whoa, Isaiah, what are you doing?
Covering them up.
If you want to join him to do great work with great people for great pay, you can apply now at jobs@caliber.com.
You about to buy the Cowboys?
That's jobs@caliber.com.
Caliber.com?
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at Isaiah pulling out the cards.
It's a lot of cards.
Jobs@caliber.com. Go get it done.
I've got like one.
Yeah. I know what you're getting for Christmas, though.
What's that?
A wallet.
This is built
thing
for
is
tough.
nice.
This is my. I can't advertise.
Tough.
This right here. These good people.
It looked like it was made in the prison.
I can tell you, my people were down there at the Grandscapes.
You're in your bag today, man.
No, what? I'm just saying. Come on, dog.
These are my boys.
Got leather shop.
These are my people down at Odin Leather Goods. Little entrepreneurs. Little entrepreneurs.
Man, respect.
They make
a
great product.
They made that to last.
Built for tough.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, second segment here. We've talked about a little bit of everything here on this show.
Has his initials on it.
Let's talk about Let's talk about the Broncos offense and what challenges they will bring to the Cowboys defense. Teddy Bridgewater has not been playing exceptionally well. He played pretty well through the first 4 games of the year. They were 3-0. Then they lost 4 straight, and then they got a win last week in ugly fashion over the Washington football team. 17-10 was the score in that one. We'll talk about the Broncos defense tomorrow. They were really the heroes of that game. But Isaiah, you're giving me a look, and you already said it in the first segment. What do you think about the Broncos?
Oscar the Grouch. Where does he live?
In the dumpster.
In the doggone trash can.
Man, Vic Fangio's going to be listening to this.
This is going to be
this is not material. A good team. They're just not good.
They're 4-4.
And they're not a good team. To your point, they started out good, but what have you done for me lately?
You got me worried right now. See, that's usually not you. That's
I'm just
not
saying
you.
The decisions that he is making at the quarterback position, Teddy Bridgewater is literally throwing the ball up. Throwing it up and hoping.
Yep.
Right? He is Roger Staubach right now. He is just throwing it up there, Hail Mary, Tupac, and hoping that somebody comes down with this thing. He is so inaccurate right now. It's disturbing. It's disturbing, and I hope it continues for another week. I hope it continues for at least another week. These guys don't have a ground game right now. Melvin Gordon's not moving the ball for them hardly at all. They don't have any tight end play that I can recognize.
No offense on the COVID list now.
There that goes, right? We're not talking about defense today, but they just lost one of the greatest defensive ends of all time, outside linebackers of all time, right? They don't have anybody to fulfill that role. These guys are not a threat, but you still have to show up, and you still have to take care of your assignments because they are professionals, right? But these guys don't have a guy that I'm worried about like we've had on every other team that we played to date. Sure. There's not one guy on this roster that I'm like, we better know where he's at. They're not one.
Because even when you look at like Washington, Terry McLaurin, there's a guy there. Chase Young on the other side of the ball.
Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson's a good player. Then with Philadelphia, who I guess would also be one of the bottom teams, it's Jalen Hurts. We went into the Giants game thinking it was Saquon Barkley. I agree with you. I think my number one on the offensive side would probably be Jerry Jeudy, and he's been banged up throughout the year. He hasn't really gotten going, and nor – I don't know. Do I expect him to if he's getting faced by his former teammate Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah, they're offensive schemes, right? When we start talking about personnel, we're addressing personnel today. But their scheme, right, what their offensive coordinator is presenting is not good stuff. It's just not. These guys are playing at the sticks. They're running. They're turning around, running little curl routes or whatever you want to refer to as sit routes right at the chains every single time. They're easy to identify. They're mirrored routes on both sides. It's like old school Jason Garrett offense, right? Throwback to Jason Garrett back in the day when he was running the same routes on both sides and you knew how to stop it. You go cover 2, you negate everything that's going on. You can literally pinpoint where the ball is going to go based upon the defensive coverage that you present. They don't have guys that can beat you over the top. They have Cortland Sutton that's a big guy. He's made some good catches, but he's not going to gas on you. Right, he's not going to run by you. So coverage-wise, this should be a relatively easy game. We are going to have to be disciplined in terms of being in our zones and kind of knowing where the balls are going to go. But scheme-wise, these guys don't do anything amazing. We've faced way better offensive coordinators to date and much better talent.
And their offensive line has given up at least 2 sacks in every game so far this season. They gave up 4 last week against Washington.
And that's the problem. And you go back and you watch the tape against the football team. And the football team, we just don't – like the defense hadn't completely fallen off a cliff yet. But Teddy Bridgewater was able to make some throws and pull that out. I just feel like Teddy Bridgewater, since he came from Louisville, and I know him from his high school days in Miami, him and Amari Cooper were setting high school football on fire. These guys are just tremendous. We're tremendous teammates. And Teddy Bridgewater, when he was at Minnesota, and I think it's ironic that we played the Vikings last week and we're playing Broncos this week, but when he was at Minnesota, No, he had so much promise, and then he completely tore up his knee.
Yep.
I mean, and he was one of the up-and-coming quarterbacks in this league because he can make every throw. There's nothing that he can't do from the quarterback position, but you're right. When he doesn't have any protection, he gets erratic, and he will throw it up and not even see it where the ball comes down, which is a no-no in football, and that'll get you out. But I just remember him when we played against the Saints, and they had all those weapons. He just won't blow a game for you, right? He's a good bus driver at this point because of the knee. One of the things that he does do well is that if you blitz him, he'll find an open man. They're still tops in the league at that. If you blitz him, come after him, he can find the open guy. But that's just the thing. I think the Cowboys are in a position this game where we don't have to show a whole lot of blitz to Teddy. We can just get pressure with our guys up front and play coverage, and that's why I think my guy, Trayvon Diggs, will get back to his intercepting ways because he's going to throw – Teddy Bridgewater's going to throw some balls up.
Teddy's tied for the third most sacks taken so far this season, 22.
Wow.
In 8 games. He's tied with Goff and Baker Mayfield, and only Tannehill and Justin Fields have more. That's a lot for Justin Fields. He hadn't played the whole season. And
he's a rookie.
I think part of and I think part of what you guys are saying, I think Isaiah mentioned, he throws it up. He's under pressure. He's just trying to make something happen downfield, and he's got guys who can go get it. Cortland Sutton can go get it. Judy's back. He can go get it. Not having Noah Fant this week hurts him a lot in the possession game. To me, it just comes down to a couple things. I mean, can they score enough points? They're averaging under 20 points a game against a Cowboys team that when they have Dak Prescott, 35-plus points in 4 straight games. Where's the stat I saw from the Broncos? They have only crossed the 35-point mark twice since the start of the 2019 season.
So two and a half seasons, basically.
Yeah, and haven't gotten 25 points since week 3. So not only can they manufacture that, can they protect Teddy Bridgewater from Randy Gregory, but is Dak Prescott playing in this game? And I think the Cowboys feel confident, definitely optimistic based on what Jerry Jones said that he will. If he plays and he's himself, you can almost book 30 points for the Cowboys, you know? Can Denver match that? If Cooper Rush plays, I don't know if that's a guaranteed, even though he definitely showed that he can drive this offense down the field. So to me, it comes down to those two factors.
You also look at Denver and their record against teams over 500 and under 500. You want to hear this one? Teams under 500, they're 4-0 with a 23.5 points per game. They have allowed 9 points per game. So that defense has done well against teams that are under 500. They're also +4 in the turnover differential. Against teams over 500, which if you haven't necessarily figured it out yet, the Cowboys are above 500. 6-1. The Broncos are 0-4, 16 points per game. They're giving up over 25 points per game, and they're -6 in the turnover differential. So they haven't had any success against good teams here in 2021 so far. And I'm with you. If you need them to outscore you, or if you need to outscore the Cowboys, if you're the Denver Broncos, it's not going to happen. I even think with one game under his belt, Cooper Rush could score more than 20 points against a good defense. He scored 20 against one of the better defenses.
I'm just saying it's the difference between an MVP candidate as your starting quarterback, and I mean, you know, it's Cooper Rush is still getting used to the starting quarterback thing in the NFL. It makes me curious why they traded Von Miller. You know, they're 4-4. It's a young team. Are they rebuilding? I mean, they're not out of the playoff race necessarily. And maybe your best chance in this game is for him to go wreck the game on defense and get you a turnover and give your offense another.
They're going to lose Vaughn anyway. Vaughn was out of there, and they had to get something for him. And if that was the move, they just, they were going to make that anyway. But defensively, you're right. I mean, we'll talk about their defense tomorrow, but they're okay. But it's going to be the difference between Rush playing and Dak playing that's going to make the difference in this game. And I'm curious to see, finally, when we have an opponent that you can tell on paper and look at all the numbers and say, oh, these guys can't play with us, what's the mind state for our team going into that? Because every week it's like, is this the trap game? Is this the game we're going to have a let down? Well, finally you have a team that you really don't have any respect for and think, oh, we just can show up and roll our helmets out there and go beat these guys. It doesn't happen like that. And so that's what's making me a little paranoid in this situation, that we underestimate these guys. Yeah. I want to beat their ass and go home. You know what I mean? I want that to happen, but at the same time, we can't go out there and play with our food.
And that's why I said you still have to show up. Yep. You still have to execute. You still got to take care of responsibilities. But as in prior weeks, I always come out here and I identify who the threats are. The guys that you have to respect. We don't have those worries in this week. But you still got to go out there and take care of business because you're playing against other professional athletes.
Yeah, it's the NFL.
It's the NFL. But, look who they've beaten. When we talk about, they got off to a hot start. They beat the Giants. Yay. Boom. They beat Jacksonville. Yay. The Jets before White. Yay. Right?
Mike F.
And then they beat Washington, right? And Washington is not figuring things out right now. They beat 4 teams that are not good.
And they got 17 points against Washington, which last year you would say, that's pretty good. Yeah. This year they're giving up more points than anybody.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. They've lost to Baltimore. All the teams that are good, they lost to. They lost to Baltimore. Mm-hmm. They lost to Pittsburgh. They lost to Vegas. They lost to Cleveland. Those are all respectable teams. Those other 4 teams that they beat, not respectable. So when we start looking at where you put your value at, it's like, that's not there. But we still got to show up and take care of business. But these guys are. This is the worst we face by far. We faced nothing but good teams this year. At least up to the point that they played us, we're good teams.
Bridgewater, one of 4 quarterbacks with 70-plus completion percentage this season. So he does know how to be efficient with the football. Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson are the other 3. So Bridgewater's in that company. So when we come back after the break, what level of the defense is going to be most challenged by Teddy Bridgewater? I'm looking at you, Isaiah. You got to find one of the 3 units that's going to find a way to be challenged by Teddy Bridgewater when we come back on the other side of the break with more Talkin' Cowboys.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands, with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more, Essilor here on Talkin' Cowboys. Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips over here off in the corner, Chris Beam in the back. I got a fun tweet from RJ Ochoa. We love RJ.
Jizzle.
Down in San Antonio. Does great work with Blogging the Boys. And I don't know if he's with ESPN down there anymore or not, but he used to work with ESPN San Antonio. How about this? Last time the Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA Finals, the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl. The last time the Atlanta Braves won the World Series, the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Oh, I like that.
The last time the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Denver Broncos in any game, home or away.
What happened?
The Atlanta Braves won the World Series the week prior.
Oh, destiny.
Just so you know.
You guys are funny.
So you're saying we're going to the Super Bowl?
Boy, that's a stretch.
I like that.
That is a monstrous
It's a huge stretch, but it's
I already
fun
got my
to think
ticket,
about.
guys.
Yeah, I know. We'll see you in L.A. But, yeah, there's a lot of fun still to be had this season. A long season to go. We have 10 weeks left.
The last time the Super Bowl was in L.A., the Cowboys were in it.
Is that true?
I mean, the Rose Bowl.
Pasadena?
I know
92?
it was in Pasadena, but
I don't know.
Has there been one since then?
I don't know.
I don't know
There had
either.
been
I
a
have to look
team
it up.
there.
Say it with your chest, Chris.
I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure that's right.
The Chris Beam branch of research and
You
statistics.
know he fact checks everything, right?
Oh, yeah. No, 100%.
I'll be walking out of here and he's like, man, let me tell you what you said.
Yeah.
It's like around the horn.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
PTI. Look,
PT, yeah.
God,
PTI,
dog.
All right, Isaiah, you've had now 4 minutes to think about it since I first teased the question. What level of the Cowboys defense is most challenged by the Broncos offense?
Punt return.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. Did you come up
That's
with
what
that?
you came up with in the 4
Punt
minutes?
return unit. Yes.
Okay.
Punt return unit.
Because they're going to be on the
we
field
need
a
we
lot.
need that third of the game to show up. They haven't necessarily been big contributors yet this year, and that's defense. That's defense.
Don't try and make this into
It's
a
defense.
serious
It is a
thing.
defense. I mean, you're rushing the punter. It's defense. So punt return. That's what I'm gonna go
You've
with.
been pouring in and putting the whole.
I mean, fantasy
podcast.
football is defense and special teams.
Now I know why they were
you
calling
see what I did
you
there?
a biased Cowboys.
You see what I did there?
Person there.
See that?
I did.
Heckma.
That's too much, man.
Who do you think, Heckma?
How to come back from behind that? He said,
Yes.
Shake it before you bake it.
That's awesome.
You know what? It's for me. It's going to continue to be the big plays, and so I'm the wide receivers. We've been giving up a lot of yards to wide receivers, and obviously last week we didn't give up that much, but I'm still leery about the big play, and so that's where I'm going to keep my attention there.
Who are you most concerned about? Are you Judy or?
Yeah, I would say Jerry Jeudy, just based off of his resume as a wide receiver and speed. But I feel confident in our secondary. But if you have to press me on what I'm most concerned about, it's just the big play. We've given up a lot of them.
Understood.
I think the receiving ability out of the backfield is something that the Cowboys linebackers are going to have to look at. I mean, Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams, they're one of only two duos in the NFL with over 350 rushing yards and 100 receiving yards this season. You want to know the other duo?
What's that?
Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
Yeah, it's a pretty good. I mean, they're both averaging over 4.5 yards a carry. It's not like they can't move the ball.
No.
They haven't cashed in on their drives, clearly.
It's time for Micah Parsons to get an interception. Yeah, he's getting close. He got close last game.
He hasn't had one since high school.
See,
Wow.
there it is.
Chris Beam, branch of statistics and research.
There it is.
By the way, I fact checked myself. The last time it was in the L.A. metropolitan area.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's Pasadena. It's L.A.
It counts.
Right?
Yeah,
It counts, right? Mm-hmm. The Cowboys played the Bills, so take the over, guys.
Nice. Yeah, take the over. All right. Thanks, Chris.
It's all coming together, isn't it?
Yes, it
Just
is.
all the stars are
It
aligning.
is. Yes, it is.
For the star.
But I think the deep threat ability of Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, for that matter. I mean, Cortland Sutton's having a decent year. He's almost at 600 receiving yards, tied for 12th in the NFL. His yards per game is up more this year than it ever has been throughout his NFL career. So I think the deep threat ability is something, and then the receiving threat from the tailbacks out of the backfield are two things that I want to keep an eye on, because those are two things the Cowboys have not had a ton of success covering, with the exception of maybe last week against Minnesota.
Yes, I mean Sutton does have he has a deep threat ability, but I think, oh man, I'm digging here, guys. Come on, I'm
with you.
trying to
I think
pull something up.
I think every week it's the big play. If that's one thing the defense has to get better at, because the run defense, they're proven to us they can stop the run much better than last year. It's a big play down the field. Patrick's getting 14 yards a catch for them too. So be on your P's and Q's.
Is this a team that you can go too high safety against and not be threatened by their run ability?
I would go out on a limb and say no.
What kind of limb are we talking?
It's probably thin.
It's like a twig, or it's like a log that's been waterlogged?
It's a pretty thin limb. Because you could do it. I don't think you do it 100% of the snaps, of course.
Of
but
course not, yeah.
I would say you could get away
Do you go
with
into
that.
this game plan saying we're going too high or single high?
I can go too high in this game and be okay.
I
I'm not worried.
So by going too high, it negates
take
the majority of the big plays that you guys are concerned about.
Yeah, prevent the chunk plays and make them drive the field, because they haven't scored a lot of points this year.
They are third on their third down. They are 28th in the league on third downs. They're 27th in the league in red zone, 26th in the league in big plays.
So they should be worried about our punt return.
You understand me? So I'm talking about their ability to move the chains. That's what I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
First and second,
force them to move.
Most of the time, right? You talk about their receiving out the backfield. Most of the time, you get into their back is usually on third down, right? Because of what coverage allows for. Coverage falls back, right? You're able to get the swing routes out to your back. Third down is usually the play, but guess what? They're 28th in the league on third down, right? If they do somehow get the ball down to the red zone, say they make a big play to get down to the red zone, they're 27th in the league in converting in the red zone. Right, and then they still have to deal with our offense, right? On the other side of the ball, we get to tomorrow. So we take them out of a lot of the things that they want to do simply by us getting up in the game, which we're going to score points, right? Especially if Dak is back, we're going to score our points, right? So what are they really allowed to do based upon both sides of the game for us?
That makes sense.
So that brings me to my next question, though: is if you go with the too high look and you want to take away the big play, is there a possibility that the Broncos out-physical you at the line of scrimmage?
Hell no.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
More I think about it, I think too high is probably the look there that you're going to see from Dan Quinn the majority of the time.
Yeah. You take a Belichick approach, right? Bend but don't break.
So should we even have a show tomorrow, or should we just skip to Friday?
No, we're going to have a show tomorrow. But, I mean, everything you bring up, and then, Cortland Sutton comes in and goes, 150 on us. And I think we're going. That's where the questions are going to be.
Sure.
How did we shore it up? What did we do to give them that alleyway? I just feel like for our defense, it's going to be getting pressure up front with just our base.
Yep.
Not anything special versus, as you talk about the chess game for looking ahead, what other people are looking at. We can't, obviously we're going against an opponent like this where, they don't have a lot to put points up on the board defensively. I think I look for Randy Gregory, Dorrance Armstrong, Micah Parsons, all of these guys to have a monster game. What is it?
Rob is just smiling off to the side.
I'm just thinking about you like on, I don't know, if there was a sponsor, Expedia, booking your trip to LA already.
On, dog.
Hey. I don't know who
I'm walking.
So American Airlines.
Hotels.com, guys.
Oh, there you go. Hotels.com.
Hotels.com.
So if you're Dan Quinn, you're coming into this and say, let's execute on our base game plan. Because our base defense, let me see how we can execute that.
And I'm not trying
So you're taking a preseason approach in terms of game plan.
I'm not going to be that vanilla.
Okay.
Not going to be that vanilla.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is I recognize the pressure that I can present to them with just our guys up front.
Understood.
And so I'm okay with that.
Okay. Is this a game where you give Kelvin Joseph more reps at corner?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I would totally do that. I probably would have said that regardless.
I mean, against an opponent like this, you've already said, and you already know what the numbers are, so I don't think you're that worried about them. But if you get to the point in the third quarter where you're just busting them, you put some
Kelvin,
of your guys in.
Nashawn,
absolutely. I mean, and you see teams doing that on every level, getting their guys some reps. And you've already talked about that. That experience for our young guys is going to be pivotal to what's going to happen in the future.
Does he shadow somebody this game, or do you just let him play aside?
Yeah, give me Cortland Sutton. Man, him on Jerry Jeudy would be fun though.
But then you're putting A. Brown on 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, no, give me Cortland Sutton.
But
Anthony, I'm just asking.
But Anthony has shown you that he can still be a force. He's doing better in coverage. We're rolling coverage that way, getting him help like we did versus the Vikings, and you feel he's comfortable in that situation.
It's that Mike Evans argument that we had week 2, though. It's just pure size disadvantage.
And maybe going back to that game, hell, should we have put AB on Mike Evans? What?
I hear you.
I'm just saying.
that team's built different.
I mean, that's the game nobody can get out of their minds with AB.
All I'm saying is Antonio Brown has been baptizing everybody every week the way that he did AB in the first week.
He's AB, though. He's AB. He's one of the greatest receivers to play this game.
It happened. If they see him again in January, we talk about it then. Other than that, it's over.
Look at Rob dropping the mic at the end of the show.
Don't you dap that. Don't dap that.
Don't that. I like it. We can talk about it in January, says Rob Phillips. All right, that's it for us.
Already?
For the great Heckma Harrison, for Cowboys insider Rob Phillips, for Cowboys homer Isaiah Standback, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow on Talkin Cowboys.
Wow.
Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!